I'm so tired, Lee, I tell you, mate.
Why is that, Robbie?
Because I've been celebrating our 3-2 win against Manchester United, and it takes a lot out of you.
It was magic, Robbie. It was magic.
It was magic, and we're going to need more magic this weekend because we're up against the champions, Man City. We've got a £12,000 combined prize pot to give away this week. That's £2,000 for Friday's game of the day, Man City versus Arsenal, and £10,000 for Saturday's league games.
Oh, Robbie, we're going to need some magic now, because I'll tell you this now. I fancy a 2-2 draw.
A draw?
Well, they're at home, they're the champions, and they're doing well.
Yeah, all right, they're the champions of that, but I reckon we're going to win 2-1. And I'll tell you what, I hope nobody listens to you. Listen, click the link, make your picks, and don't listen to this guy. Pathetic. A draw.
Charming.
Hi, and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges in the building. We are here, brought to you today by AFTV PICK10. Don't forget you can make your picks. We'll be doing ours a little bit later on. Didn't go too well for either of us last week again. It started to get harder and harder. For us anyway. Other people just seem to be scooping up the money on this thing. But listen, we'll be having a little chat about that later on. But we got to start only in one place, and that was Arsenal's magnificent win over Manchester United at the weekend, which firmly now, you don't matter who you wanted to say, whichever doubter there was, Arsenal are now in the title race. 50 points, top of the league halfway through the season. We're in it, Lee.
Right, yeah, we're in it. I said we'd be in it if we could beat Spurs and Man United, and we've done that. 2-horse race now, I think, if I'll be honest. I think, Man City and Arsenal, it was a good weekend for both. Winning the teams below them all dropped points. Apart from Spurs, of course, but they dropped points in the week. You know what I mean? But there you go. But, listen, has it been the best 7 days? I can't remember two better games. I was buzzing going into the game after obviously beating Spurs first time for a while in the North London derby, and then to take on the other nemesis of us, really.
Yeah.
I don't like Man United for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then
the rivalry.
Yeah, the rivalry. To turn them over like that, and a last-minute winner. I don't think you get better than that in the last 2 games, Robbie.
No, you know what, you're right. You're kind of right. And then remember when we all looked at the month of January. We all looked at it for,
great start.
It's going to be tricky, man. You know what I mean? In that month, Newcastle. I just want to remind people, because now that we've done the month and we've done so well in it, it's very easy to take for granted how well we did in that month. So let's remember, in the Premier League, Newcastle, who at that time was second in the league, right? All right, we didn't get the win, but
played well.
We had to play them. Tottenham away. We haven't won there for 9 years, right? 9 years we haven't won there. We got absolutely turned over there last year, right? Go there, win with a very impressive 2-0 win, which we dominated the game. And in Manchester United, the week after, like Lee says, next rival, come in Manchester United, come into the Emirates as the informed team in the Premier League along with us. They've been unbeaten since, the break. They haven't lost a game. And again, we turn them over. And, that's why now, no doubt they're going to say probably the Everton game is going to be the next big test, because we've struggled there before in the past. But we've been passing test after test after test. And I really think, when you look at this month, it's as difficult as it could have got.
Yeah.
It's as difficult as it could have got, because basically all the teams we played were in the top 6 in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And even just before that, we had to play Brighton, who is another team that's been on fire away from home, and again another team in which we've had nightmares against. We haven't beaten them, regularly for a long time. So honestly, we have just navigated a really difficult period, and we have done brilliantly, and we've played some scintillating football.
Yeah,
and the game against Man United, I thought was a real top quality game. By the way, I thought it was a high quality game. You could see that on both teams, there's top quality players in both of those teams, but especially in our team.
Oh yeah, like, listen, I'm with you on this. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that on. Dare I say it? I will say it. I enjoyed Sunday more than I did the Tottenham game. And I'll tell you why.
reckon?
You can't beating Spurs for whatever reason. But it was more of a closer game.
Yeah.
The Man United game. There wasn't much between. Let's be honest. Man United are a far better team than Tottenham. Far better team. It was a quality game of football. It could have gone either way. I felt after 20 minutes of the Spurs game, if we don't win this game, I'll be disappointed. I didn't know up until the Eddie goal to make it 3-2 who was going to win that game or not. It could have gone either way.
No, I disagree with you there. I thought once we got the second goal, when it was 2-2, I felt after that if one team's gonna win it, it's gonna
I felt we was
it's gonna be us, because
they always look dangerous on the break.
But they're dangerous on the counter attack. That's the thing. Because funny enough, when I went back home and I watched the game, I watched the whole game back.
As you do.
I'm like, we were dominating the game.
Yeah.
But they defended well. They a lot of times when we got to the box, just with getting a shot off, they got a block in.
Yeah.
They were defending pretty well, right? You don't really know, because if you watch the highlights, you just see Saka tearing up Shaw and things like that, and it looks like it was, but it weren't. It was like we were finding it really difficult to break them down, and then on the counter attack, they're dangerous. You know what I mean? They get the ball up to that Weghorst, he'd hold it up a bit, lay it off. You got Fernandes sprinting up there, and then you got Rashford, who this guy's on fire at the moment. I mean, his goal, by the way, in the game was brilliant, wasn't it? I was like, when that went in, I was like, what?
Was a class goal.
This ain't in the script, you know what I mean?
That's what they were capable of doing. I actually, was coming home after the game. It's funny because you actually do watch the game. I think when you're there, because you're emotionally into it as well. You don't. The things you miss and you don't see it so much. But when I got home, you do watch it, and you watch the extended highlights and things like that. I didn't even realise how good Ramsdale's save was in the second half.
Great save.
Do you know what I mean? I was criticising him, saying, he messed up.
Great save, because it hit a deflection.
That was an unbelievable save. You know what I mean? Obviously, he gets a little bit of criticism for the corner, but more than made up with that.
Whose fault was that?
I think
is it his or Tomiyasu?
I think Ramsdale. You got he's got a punched out. I think he tried to catch it, didn't he? Or I don't really know. But listen, he's made a mistake, but he doesn't make many. And when you get back home, you're sort of thinking, he had a bit of a poor game. And then when you actually look at it,
that was a
great save.
A great save.
Yeah, it was a great save. But I felt Man United looked dangerous.
Yeah.
But you're nervous, I suppose, and all that. But when you look back on it, those last 20 minutes, we totally dominated. You know what I mean? I never knew it, but someone said to me yesterday that Rashford only had 3 touches in the second half. He was
he was very isolated in the second half. And,
so done a job on him.
Yeah, and I think I saw something like we had 63 touches
in their box,
in their box, and to their 13 in ours.
So when you look at it and you analyse it, you sit down and be realistically honest about it. That Man United team, very very good team, as we've all just said. They were the informed team going into this game here. We have totally dominated them in a game of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What does that say about us at the moment? We totally dominated the game of football at White Hart Lane the week before. Not only are we getting results, we're going to these places and we're stamping our authority. And,
if I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, I thought in the first half we weren't at our best.
No, it was a little bit sloppy, wasn't we?
I didn't think it was at our best.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Ben White was being very sloppy.
That's his worst game.
Yeah, there was a few other players
Partey
was being a bit sloppy. Even Odegaard a couple of times. But the second half, they stepped it up. And like you said, it's a lot of games sometimes when you see a team, right, and they win in the last minute and you're like, yeah, we nicked it in the end. I don't think this one is a nick.
No.
Because I think this is a one where you have gone so all out to try and get that winner, that you deserve to get it in the end. It might have been in the last minute, but you pushed and you pushed and you pushed and you got the winner.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. And Eddie
ground
and
them
Nketiah,
down, didn't we? Ground them down. And I will say this about this game, like, you know, I think, well, how can I say it? I was thinking, like, I sort of accepted it was going to be a draw because it was like a minute ago, thinking, we've give it a real good go. But I think if I'd have watched that game back, I would have been disappointed that we drew 2-2. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well,
you know,
I was sat next to Julian. I was saying to him, I was going, Julian, I go, champions win these games. Right? These are the sort of games that, you you looked over the years with Arsenal. I remember the, United team under Fergie. Remember the Fergie time things. You've seen City even, right? How many games have they won in the last minute or the last 5 or 10 minutes? You got to do that when you're champions, or you try to become a champion. Because the thing is, you're going to have these games. You're going to have these moments where it's not quite. You haven't blitzed the team away, but you've got to keep going. You've got to keep knocking on the door. And I think that's the mentality of his team now. You know what I mean? And
great
I thought,
game of football.
Yeah, it's a great game of football. Let me pick out some people who deserve some special praise. And I get to the goal scorers in a minute. First of all, let me submit Zinchenko.
Ugh.
What a player this guy is. Number one, I love the vibe of this guy. Like, he comes out before the game's starting and he's getting everyone up. And he knows what this means. He's up for it. He's up for the fight. He's not, you know what I mean? And on the ball, he was brilliant. He was everywhere on that pitch. He had like just a role where he just roamed around. He was at left back. He's in midfield. He was on the right wing. He was on the left wing. He was playing at like a number 10. He was fantastic. And the quality of him on the ball. Honestly, and when he drops into midfield, sometimes it's like Arsenal have got like 4 or 5 players in midfield.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
Great.
He's been breathtaking.
He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. And, Kieran Tierney, I love Tierney, but he just can't, at the moment, take Zinchenko out. No. Not with how he's playing. He did the same at Tottenham the other day. You know what I mean? He just brings something a bit different. You know what I mean? He's absolute quality. And, we're in the transfer market, transfer, window at the moment. And everybody's talking about signings and, we missed out on Mudryk and that. Let's remind people that, last summer, our number one target at the start of that summer was Lisandro Martinez. Yeah. That is who we were going to get, and we were looking to get him to play him on the left-hand side. I don't think we were going to play him as a left-back, as a centre-back. I think what we would have done, he would have been cover for Gabriel if things, but we were going to get him to provide competition to Tierney on that left-hand side. We didn't get him. He decided to go to Man United instead.
Thank you.
We got Zinchenko, right, which was the plan B, I guess.
Yeah.
That plan B, look how that's working out. That's why sometimes we shouldn't completely lose it when we don't get a target.
Yeah.
Because, as long as you've got a plan B in place. And he has been brilliant. And we need to keep him fit. I know he's had some little fitness issues. Yeah. We need to keep him fit from now to the end of the season, especially for those big games.
But I was just about to say,
especially for those big games, right? He was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, he's been missing for a few games, and Tierney come in and done a good job. But we've won those games, but we've not dominated it like we have when he's in the team. You know what I mean? I sit there and one of the things that I drool over when I'm watching the Arsenal at the moment is the way we win back the ball so quickly.
Yeah.
So quickly, like, you know what I mean? We lose it and we got it back within seconds, and he does that. He done that so many times against Man United. And you're so right about that. I thought Martinez was a decent performance against us, but
he played well. He's a good player, that Martinez.
He is a good player. But Zinchenko or him?
Zinchenko.
Forget about the money side of it. How much? Just on pound for pound, player for player.
Zinchenko all day long. And that's no disrespect to Martinez. He's a quality player.
He was a good player. But that's
from what I've seen of him, I would have been happy if we'd have got him. But Zinchenko.
And I'm going to say it now. We had the Man United guys in this last week, bigging up Luke Shaw. over Zinchenko. No
chance.
No
chance, man.
No chance.
No chance.
I don't know if he's still on the dance floor, twisting and turning over Luke Shaw. I don't know.
Well, let's move to his tormentor, which of course was Saka, who was brilliant on the day yet again. Yeah,
gone up a level, Robbie.
He's gone up a level. He's starting to move towards world class, right? Because he's doing it when he plays for England. He does it when he's playing for the club. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see what he's going to be like in the Champions League, because I think he really has gone up levels, and he's starting to move towards that direction where, you know, if he keeps this up in a year, 2 years' time, you're going to have to start saying, yeah, Saka's world class. I mean, he was brilliant on the day, unplayable.
Listen,
I say Luke Shaw, who's
England
international, who's been on form this season.
Big you heard Man United.
You heard the United fans eulogising about him, and he has been playing really well. And he gave him a torrid time, man. Torrid
time, like, you know. And this is where this is an interesting thing, because I'm not being biased here. When it comes to Player of the Year, you know, Saka's got to be up there, but everybody's going to go for Haaland because of all the goals and all that. But you know, I've watched Haaland in the last couple of games, and yes, he's a great goal scorer, but he's not in the game sometimes. Where I thought Saka in this game in particular was just involved in everything good about a game of football. He was at the forefront of it.
And what a goal!
He nearly done it again when
he nearly did it again.
Unbelievable. And the thing is, right, and it'd be really interesting to talk to Luke Shaw about this, or someone like that, like, you know. Don't let him cut inside on your left foot. Don't let him do that. But he does.
Yeah.
And they seem to allow. It's not that, you know, that he's trying to stop it. I don't think you can.
I think as well, one of the things with him, if I compare him to, say, Anthony in Man United, you know what he's going to do. You know every time he's going to cut in on the left foot, right? Whereas with Saka, yes, he does cut in on that left foot a lot, but he also got the ability to go outside you as well. He can take it down the byline. He can, you know what I mean? And the ball you just don't know. You know, you're uncertain, and he's capable of getting those shots off. He's an exceptional talent. And then the other one is Eddie Nketiah, who, you know, Jesus was at the game, saw him there with Khabib, right? The UFC champion. But we haven't missed Jesus. No. That is the biggest compliment you can pay to this kid. And again, 2 big goals. Remember, we're losing, check it out, we're losing 1-0. He gets the goal that gets us back into the game. Then he gets the winner. Those are 2 very important goals he scored in a huge game. This kid, now, I mean, I know a lot of people have doubted him. They had a go at him when he got the number 14. They had a go at him for many things. But he's that fox in the box. He's a natural goal scorer.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's different to Jesus. There's no 2 ways about it.
Yeah.
There's things that he does. And listen, he's not going to be able to do the things on the ball that Jesus does. But, you know, does Jesus get that goal in the last minute? Does, you know, Jesus get that header? That header, by the way, I've watched that.
Brilliant.
You know, Wan-Bissaka does have to take a bit of criticism for it. Yes, I get that. But I think he makes him look slow. I just think like in.
It's his movement.
It's his movement. He's in there like, you know what I mean, like a flash. See the cross. See the picture of what goal scorers do. You know what I mean? Like some other players would just hang out and go, like, he sees something, moved, but went for the kill. Like, you know what I mean? Very, very good goal. I think he's getting better. I think he's getting better. You know, his confidence is much better. I also think that the one thing that I'm going to give him more praise than anything, and we've all been there as footballers or whatever you do in life, constantly being knocked, constantly being doubted. He's kept going, mentality-wise, fantastic. He missed a good chance 5 minutes before. I thought it was a good save, but like, didn't shy away from the next one, did he? He's there. His mental strength for this kid, I think, is exceptional. I really do.
He really is.
You know, I think he ain't silly. He's heard the vibes. He's heard what people say and all that. Right? You know, he's heard what people say about him and things like that. The doubts hasn't bothered him, Robbie.
No.
Incredible.
Mentally tough, mentally strong. Every time he gets out onto that pitch, he's like, I'm here to do my job. And you know the other thing as well, he's backed up by a manager who believes in him.
Yeah, well,
right, when a lot of other people were saying, oh, you know, we need to go and buy this and buy that.
It'd be it, Mikel was one of the sayings, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
you know?
right. And Arteta said, nope, I believe in this kid. Remember, they pushed the boat out to keep him.
Yeah.
Imagine now if he'd have gone to Palace or something, we see him banging in goals week in, week out. Because I think he would have done as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't care what anybody says. Most people have criticised. A lot of people have turned around and said, oh, he wouldn't get into another Premier League team, he wouldn't do this. Now they're talking about England. One of the biggest compliments I can give him is my brother obviously is a massive Spurs fan, and I spoke to him this week, you know, like, I'll get it out of the way, come on, get it out of the way. I turned around and said, you know, he goes, Arsenal, so lucky. I said, what do you mean lucky? He's got to tell you why you're lucky. You lose Jesus, your best player for so long, and you bring in Eddie, and he ain't stopped banging in goals, you know what I mean? Like, because they, you know, he thought that was it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people thought.
But now, it's lucky Arsenal now, like, you know, he's banging in goals and all that, like. And, you know, every time he scores, it's a dagger for everybody else in the Premier League now, because like they all thought, this is it, all celebrate. I know they were celebrating when Jesus.
When I was at the World Cup over in Qatar,
I was all happy,
and I was a load of fans from, you know, you got fans there from all over the world, and they're coming up and they're going, Robbie, you think you win the league? No Jesus,
yeah.
No Jesus though, and I'm thinking. I was like, nah, we'll still be all right. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I've got a point, man. No Jesus. How long is he going to be out for? But I was fearful. And Eddie has come in, and he's not made us miss him. And I think he's been.
You've got to give credit for that. You've got to give
credit, and you've got to give a lot of credit to Mikel Arteta. Another call that he's got right. You know what I mean? With this player, he put the confidence in him. He said, "No, Eddie, you can do this," and he's delivering. And it's a beautiful thing to see. We're going to talk about the game coming up. Of course, we got Man City this weekend, right? But before we get into that, let's check out our pick 10s. We both had a nightmare last week. Both finished in joint 615th place.
There's only 620.
Honestly, we were awful last week, right?
3 right.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely shocking, man. It was hard last week. FA Cup weekend this weekend, so there's some few FA Cup ones in there. So, but I remember the last FA Cup weekend, loads of people got loads of them right, didn't they?
Yeah.
Apart from us, I guess.
We didn't.
Right, let's obviously you got there's a special. By the way, there's £12,000 to give away this weekend, right? In the prize pot, £2,000 for the special on Friday, Man City versus Arsenal, right? We'll be at the game, of course. And on the Saturday, there's the pick 10 for the Saturday, and there's 10 grand to give away from that. Let me look at my Saturday ones. Walsall versus Leicester. Come on, Leicester, you've got it. Surely Leicester wins that. These teams, they all got easy draws, man. Look who we ended up getting. Walsall, right? Sheffield Wednesday versus Fleetwood Town.
Sheffield Wednesday are flying at the moment, aren't
they? They beat Newcastle in the last round, and they were brilliant.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah. Ipswich Town versus Burnley. This is a good one.
Oh, this is a good one, because Ipswich are flying at the moment.
So are Burnley. And will Burnley put a kind of weakened team out because they got so much to play for in... You know what?
You're going to go with the shock on that one?
Shock, man. Ipswich. I'm realising, man, you can't just go with you got to go against the grain sometimes.
Great place to go with Ipswich, by the way.
Yeah. Bristol City versus West Brom. We had an FA Cup against Ipswich.
Yeah, Tony Adams.
Yeah.
I think we won 6 something. I think we won. Like Ian Wright got hat-trick, didn't he? Like, you know.
Bristol City versus West Brom.
Do you know what? Bristol City are a funny side. They was up there 1 minute, then they're down.
Yeah. West Brom are funny.
West Brom flying at the moment. I'm going to go for the baggies.
I'll go for a draw.
I'll go for a draw.
Luton versus Grimsby. I'm going to go Luton.
Yeah.
At home, Luton are playing really well at the moment. Blackburn Rovers versus Birmingham City.
Anything can happen now.
Anything could happen. I'm going Blackburn.
Because they've got to be one of the 2 most inconsistent teams in it, like, you know.
Oh, this is a good one. Fulham versus Sunderland. Fulham, you let us down during the
Yeah,
week, man.
yeah.
Good first half, shocking in the second half against Tottenham.
I thought they were poor.
In the second half, they were awful. First half, they were good.
Fulham.
Be a lot of Geordies down here, man.
They've got that over them, haven't they? That they've got further than Newcastle in the cup.
It's another shot, man.
Another shot.
Nah, Fulham. Fulham. And finally, Southampton. Oh, no, not finally. Southampton versus Blackpool. I think you'll go Southampton. I think at home,
Southampton.
even though
Now, this could be a shock.
Preston. I remember going there a few years ago. That was a good trip, that was.
We was
FA Cup.
1-0 down with a couple of minutes to go. And do you remember we won 2-1? You know,
Yeah.
Or was it like Giroud scored? We was definitely 1-0
With a couple
down.
of minutes to go, you sure? It was...
No, we scored with a couple of minutes to go, I think.
But
We
yeah,
won,
that was a good trip. That was a good trip, that was, man. That was a good away day.
Yeah, it was a good away.
Come on, Preston, man.
Yeah,
You can
come
do
on, I'm
this.
going Preston.
Yeah, I think Tottenham.
Oh, you're going
Preston? Yeah, because they're going to put out... It's the only thing they've got nothing else they can win, innit? They're going to go for
they've got
this.
Champions League.
Exactly. That's what. Man United versus Reading.
Oh, only one winner there, Reading.
Yeah. It's got to be Man United, isn't
We're
it?
tight. They'd be a bit tired. No, you got to go. No, you got to go, man. Casemiro will be back when he like,
So those are mine. Those are mine that I put in. Remember, you can enter yours. Click the link in the description, or scan the QR code on the screen, and you can enter the game. A chance, as I said, to win £10,000 on Saturday. And there's a special game of the day special on Friday night, Man City versus Arsenal, and you can win £2,000 on that one as well. Man City versus Arsenal, FA Cup, the worst possible draw. When that came out of the hat and I saw that, I was like, oh my God, man. Have mercy. Right? I was like, why? We got to play them in the league. Number one, I don't want to play them before those games because I was like... And then number two, you know what I mean? You want to have a good FA Cup run, man, and you don't want to get them this early. But you know what? We've got a good record against them in the FA Cup.
We have. And
that's the weird thing about it. In the league, it's terrible. But in the FA Cup, we've done all right.
Listen, and when that draw came out, I was the same as you. You know what I mean? Well, we're going to go out, whatever now. But now I'm looking at it and thinking, let's go up there and have a go at it. Let's see what we can do. Like, you know what I mean? One thing that, if someone, I think it was James going, let's go full strength up. I don't want to go full strength up because you go full strength up there and then lose. That might affect that game in a few weeks' time. But and then I look at it and think, well, does it really? Because it's a completely different game. We're at home and all that lot. But I want us to go up there. I think there's 8,000, 9,000 Arsenal fans going up there. Like, we're gonna have one at the whole back. I think the whole top tier. I think, like someone said today. Give it a go, like Friday night. You know what I mean? See what we can do, like, you know what I mean?
I'm a bit with you, right? In that, number one, I don't want us to go out there with no weak. Listen, if we go out there with a 2 weaker team, yeah, right. You saw what they did to Chelsea in the last round. They put 4 past them. Could have been more. And it was embarrassing for Chelsea, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that would give them a suck. But then on the other hand, do you want to go there, put your strongest team out, and then you lose? Psychologically, that's a little dent as well, isn't it? Especially if they don't play their strongest team.
Yeah.
And then they were to beat, say, our first team, for instance, yeah? And then psychologically now for that return game, which happens in February, when we play them at home, all of a sudden... This little...
Yeah, it's a little...
I want Mikel Arteta to mix it up a bit. I think he should go fairly strong. It's the FA Cup. We've got a great record in it. We've won it more times than any other team in FA Cup history. So we've got a good record against them in the FA Cup. We're playing brilliantly at the moment, and it would be a little... Whoever wins, it's going to be a little mini statement to say, remember us, sort of thing. They're the favourites. They're at home. They've got an unbelievable squad, as we know. But I just look at it and say, go there and put quite a strong team out, because our next game isn't until next weekend.
Yeah.
We're playing on Friday night, and the game is the following week on the Saturday. So you can't make excuse for tiredness or nothing like that because players will have loads of recovery time. I'm like, yeah, I want to see a strong team, but not the strongest, because I think you've got to hold back a bit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you get my meaning?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm gonna go at the game. Whatever team he picks, I'm not going to criticise whether it's a full team, not so full, or it is completely changed. I want to see two players. I want to see Trossard, see what he can do.
Got to start.
It's got to start. And Smith Rowe, I know he's not 100% fit, but like he's got to get some minutes under his belt. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So, a couple against Tottenham.
What about the new guy, Jakob Kivori?
Well, if you're going to stick him in,
Do you know what I mean?
it's
a big game. It's a big game to stick him right into.
When is he going to play? Europa League in about a month's time. You know, play him now. Play him now. Like Gabriel, I'm a big fan of Gabriel. I think he's been brilliant the last few games. But he plays week in, week out, doesn't he? He doesn't have that many games off. So yeah, let him have a game there. Play, Saliba I'll maybe playing there, but Rob Holding deserves a chance. You know, but then if you're going to play Rob Holding, you've probably got to play Gabriel. If you play Saliba, then play the other third. You know, you could be a little bit. Tierney's going to have to come in. I think Tierney's going to come in.
I don't want to see Saka play either. I want to keep back Saka. It's a weird one because then on the other hand, you do want to see Saka play, but I kind of want to hold him back until when we play them. Saka on the bench for me. I don't want to see Odegaard play.
What, Vieira? You want to see Vieira play?
Yeah, Fabio Vieira's playing that game.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them two play.
What about Xhaka or Lokonga? Who plays here?
I'd have a Xhaka in a game. I'd have a Xhaka in a game like this. I think, granted Xhaka's needed in a game like this.
Not many minutes for Lokonga then, is it?
Yeah, but I think he could play because if El Neni is still injured, I know you've got the intel, isn't it? Tell everybody what your intel is, because there have been these rumours saying that his injury's worse than first.
Well, I don't know, you know what I mean, but because I was worried about whether he was going to be injured or he was leaving, you know what I mean. But I spoke to his brother on at the Man United game, and he said it's an injury, you know what I mean. Right.
So he says an injury.
Yeah. So.
But is that injury worse?
He never led to me to believe that it weren't. He was, he'd be back soon. Was his.
Okay.
So he never said, "Oh, it's a bad injury."
Yeah. Well, I think if El Neni doesn't play, it'd be I think
it's an hamstring injury, isn't it? Like, so
yeah.
I imagine, it's touch and go for.
I think if Lokonga plays, right, this is huge for him. This game, it really is. I think
make or break.
I wouldn't say break. Put it this way: if I was in charge of Arsenal, if he didn't really turn it on, if he didn't have a good game in this game, a good solid game, I would be looking to get him out on loan before the end of the January transfer window, and I'd be bringing in someone else
looks ready made
into that defensive midfield position. So that's what I mean when I say make or break. Maybe not breaking his whole career, but if he's got to perform in this game. I know it's tough because you're up against Manchester City, but I think he needs to turn in a performance because he's been one of those players that there's a lot of doubt on him now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of doubt on him. He came in with a good reputation. A lot of people were talking about him, new Yaya Toure and all that. And we've just not seen it.
No.
We've not seen it.
We've seen glimpses, haven't we?
We've seen little glimpses,
but not enough.
I think, if he plays in this game, I want to see more. I want to see something because opportunities. You see, this is a big opportunity for him, not just in the FA Cup or Europa League, but also as the season goes on and injuries and you've got to rest players and that, right? If he could come in and do something really impressive, he could figure more in the first team, even in the Premier League. But he has to show us more. He's not showed us enough in these games. Even the last game against Oxford, he's very disappointing. He's just on the fringes. We need to see more of Albert Sambi Lokonga. So I think this is a huge game for him. I think I'd love to see Fabio Vieira start. And like you said, Trossard, who I thought, came on contributing in the goal. Remember, he took the ball up, drove forward, laid it off. You know, he had a big contribution in that goal. I like the look of him. He just immediately looked like an Arsenal player to me.
Yeah,
and this is what we talk about when you make a signing like Trossard. It's nothing for him to go to Man City. He's been there many times before over the years. He scored a hat-trick at Anfield. Yeah, he starts for me. You rest Martinelli.
Yeah, I go along with
that. Martinelli.
Martinelli played played the whole game against Oxford, didn't he? So maybe it is time for him to come on. Saka also started in that game at Oxford. So when you're starting Martinelli, Eddie and Saka at Oxford, then you know what I mean. Like, there's a question mark why you ain't doing that against Man City.
But they've got Trossard now.
But they've got Trossard now, and they've also got
Smith Rowe should be fitter because it's now been about 3 weeks since Smith Rowe's been back.
Exactly.
I know he hasn't played game after game. They play. But he's been training. He's been. I mean, the right hand side is a problem. But I don't want to play Saka.
No, well, Trossard can play there. He can play there and play Smith Rowe there, and they can swap about. Yeah, I would. That's what I would go with them two up there. For me, I think it's very, very important that Smith Rowe has minutes because the one thing I did look at against the Man United game, and we had a stronger bench than them. Yeah, we had a stronger bench than them, like, you know what I mean. And so that's something that's been a little bit of a concern with Arsenal over the last few weeks. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden, there, Trossard on there. Smith Rowe on there, like all of a sudden you think
you have that Kivori coming in as well now.
Yeah, so there's a little bit more
left-sided centre back, which is something that we've lacked. Our only left-sided centre back has been Gabriel, and like
Tommy Asu was on the bench coming on, didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we've got that bench is starting to look a little bit stronger.
Yeah, because Tommy Asu came on for Ben White, and he was brilliant.
He was brilliant
in that second half.
So Tommy Asu needs to get. See, and the thing is, when I look at Tommy Asu, first 10 minutes weren't great against Man United, and then he's got into the game. So that tells me that he needs to play in this game. Get him up to speed. Get him up to speed.
He's got to start. He's got
to start. Like, you know. So, you know, I want to see. Yeah. So, but you want to. Let's have him on the bench. I'd be very surprised if Haaland plays. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
they'll
think
be on the bench, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think they'll have him on the bench. I don't think a lot of those players will start for City as well. I think he'll start probably Alvarez instead of Haaland, but he'll have him on the bench. But I just think he's going to be a similar thing with him, where he's going to hold back a couple of the key players. Obviously, they've got an unbelievable squad.
Yeah.
So, you know, he can say, right, we're going to keep back Marius, but I'm going to play Bernardo Silva. And I'm going to play Foden. Or I'm going to play,
they've got that.
That's what they've got, that they've got that advantage over us, the strength in depth of names that they can bring on.
And one thing that worries me, and it goes back to Arsene Wenger years, like, you know what I mean? I remember us playing an FA Cup semi-final against Man United. We had the Champions League on the Wednesday, and then we had Liverpool on the Good Friday, if I remember rightly. It was on a Tuesday. I think it might have been we had Chelsea on a Tuesday. We played on a Saturday. We played a weakened team in the FA Cup semi-final, and lost. And then we went to the Champions League against Chelsea and lost. Lost momentum, like, you know. So we've got this fantastic momentum at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there is that thing of we don't want to lose that momentum. You know what I mean? So I think we should go up there and give it a bloody good go.
The other thing is, which you make a great point, is if we went up there and won, the confidence that gives, you know, because, you know, remember the game that we played him is at home. The confidence that would give going into that game. But it's like a game of poker, this FA Cup game, because you don't want to play your big hand yet, you know what I mean? You don't want to go there, because you know, when you think about it, Arsenal could quite easily go there and say, Arteta could quite easily go there and say, we're playing our first team, and let's try and win this game, because, you know, we ain't got a game until the following week. So I'm going to play Thomas Partey, all you guys, you're all in. I'm going to go hard, I'm going to go strong right from the beginning, maybe even surprise City, because they think I'm going to leave a few people out and just go for it from the start. But they got such strength in depth that even the backup guys could still beat us. And then all of a sudden, psychologically, it's in your head that, we played, they're beaten.
There's more pressure on them.
And we lost.
There's more pressure on them because they're the home side, they're expected to win.
Yeah.
You know, and we're the team that's sort of coming for them. So they want to slap us down a little bit, like, you know what I mean. But so if you go up there and look at it, we play our full team and they play their full team, and we go there and beat them, then that psychologically gives us an advantage. But also if we go up there and go, well, we're playing a second team here, and we give you a game and nick something. You know, it's all in the head, isn't it?
Do you know what, right? I don't know if it was you who said this when we was at Oxford the other day, or I can't remember which game we was at. I can't remember if it was you who said it. But do you reckon these managers...
I said it, yeah. Like,
it was you who said it, yeah.
Have a chat with each other.
Do you reckon they do that? Do you reckon, especially Pep and
100%.
They know each other, so do you reckon
Yeah, I've said that all along. That they.
So do you reckon he'd give Pep a ring and say, yeah, Pep, listen.
Or the other way around, yeah, and they go, what do you do?
Going to rest up a few players for this game. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, and they go,
do you think that...
Well, because it happens too often. It happens too often
that
both teams both go in there, with a few things. So I do think that they do that, like, you know what I mean?
That'd be interesting to
like
know.
The Brighton Arsenal game, both teams rested a load of players.
Yeah, that was the game you said it.
That
was the game you said it, yeah. So when we played them in the League Cup.
Yeah, and they'd put a second string out and we did. So I do think there is something in that. You know what I mean? Like, or the fact is that you know that your priorities or whatever, so you're going to make those changes anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? But in saying that, in the Oxford game, I was more surprised with the change the stronger he went in that game.
He went strong.
He went strong in that, knowing that we got Manchester City in the next round. By the way, the draw's already made.
Yeah, true.
And so he come out with that front three, knowing that we go to City in the next round.
I think a lot of the reason why we played that front three because there's nobody else.
Well, mate.
Because at that time, remember, Reece Nelson's out. There's nobody to cover Martinelli. There's because Smith Rowe
was nowhere near fit enough.
So he had no choice. This time he's going to have a choice.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see.
Nelson could be in the equation as well, because I think that someone said that he's back in training. I don't know if he's in full training, but he's back in some sort of training. And he done well for us.
Yeah? For a period.
For a period. Scored a couple of goals against, was it Forest he scored a couple of goals against?
Yeah.
So...
Do you think, next week, 31st, January transfer window closes, do we need anything else?
One more. I look at it, right, and this is where people lose their head about the transfer window and, should we do this, should we do that, and blah, 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 blah. If you'd have said to me, what area do we not need to strengthen in, or you're happy with? Well, I said we can get through by not signing these defenders. We can move Tommy Asu, who could play like as a left back. Even Tierney could go in there and play as
Yeah.
I felt and then Lavenbiel, out of the blue, we've just signed someone from there. So I don't know. And I say all this linking with players all the time and all that. Tielemans is never coming to Arsenal, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? If there's someone that would be,
I don't think they get Tielemans.
We never got links with Trossard. It's done. Yeah. We never got linked with Zinchenko. It's done. Wasn't linked with, all these long drawn out.
It's like when people find out. It's like when did you see the video that the guys did for the welcome to?
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant.
With Matisse there saying, "Toto got a target." That is actually Chelsea. That is how they've been rolling. I mean, by the way, on that Chelsea thing, right? Did you see what this week? Right, so with the Mudryk deal, they got that deal done for a couple of reasons, right? They apparently the add-ons and that they were going to pay quicker. That's one of the things. But they also offered him an 8.5-year contract, right? Now, I don't know if you saw during the week, UEFA said that they're going to stop it from the summer.
Little loophole, wasn't it?
It's a loophole that only Chelsea have exploited, right? Where what it is basically, you're able to spread the payments.
Over 8 years now.
Over 8 years. So if you buy a player for 80 million, you can say, oh, well, that shows up on your balance sheet as a £10 million
every year,
instead of if it was over 4 years, it being 20 million.
Yeah.
Right? So you look like you've lost less money. You know what I mean? You're able to balance your books better.
Yeah.
So therefore you don't break any of the FFP rules.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, that little sort of craftiness that they've done has helped them to get Mudryk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because they've
and all the other players.
Arsenal wouldn't be able to do that. Like, let's say wouldn't be able to do it. It's not feasible. Like, what you have to look at it with Arsenal is, sign an 8-year contract for someone like that, 21. Then you got Saka saying, "Well, hold on a minute, like I need some of that." If you know what I mean, or Martinelli and all that. So there's they don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to be very, very shrewd what we do with our younger players as well. And 8-year contracts is not the way to go.
8.5 year
not the way to go, is it?
Contract.
Arsenal pulled out of it in the end, didn't they? They turned around and said, "Look,
it's getting ridiculous.
It's getting ridiculous."
And like I said earlier, sometimes the plan B we could find that Trossard is the perfect, the perfect signing that fits us. Although I did like to look at that Mudryk.
Well, and he's going to be good, and let's be honest. Edu and Mikel, they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to transfer.
Yeah.
I think they've been fantastic. You know what I mean? The one
was even. Sorry.
No, just with the criticisms of what they've done, they've always been pretty good with that.
Yeah.
So if they've wanted this Mudryk like for all this time, he's going to be decent.
Yeah, and even like I was thinking about the João Felix one, which was another one that we were linked to, right? And basically, we pulled out for it because it was going to cost in total £20 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did we pay for Trossard? £21 million on a permanent
deal. Yeah. I mean,
and you're talking about it would have been a loan from now till June.
Yeah, ridiculous. And
right, and we've got Trossard, Premier League ready, right? A guy that's done well in the Premier League over the years for 21 million.
And listen, as and I do think this with we're not accountants or anything like that. It's not our money, but we look at it and think we want our club being run properly and sensibly.
Yeah.
Most Arsenal fans said, well, we get one of them, but we don't want both because it's financially not viable. It's not the right thing to do and all that. Like, they don't care.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think
what they want to do.
It's all right. Chelsea are doing all that spending right now, but we don't know if it could work. It could implode.
Yeah.
I remember, look at the club right now. That it's an absolute mess. Second from bottom in the league on goal difference, and that's Everton. Right, absolute turmoil that club is in right now. I remember when they brought in Ancelotti. How many Arsenal fans were moaning? Why didn't we get Ancelotti? I remember when they brought in James Rodriguez. My brother ringing me up. Yeah, why didn't we get James Rodriguez? Right, or a load of the money they've spent over £500 million on signings.
Yeah,
and look at the mess they're in. So, being sensible in the transfer market, running your club properly
is a big thing.
Listen, the reason why Man City win so many things, Liverpool win so many things, they run properly.
Yeah,
they run properly. You never see Man City having to scatter around in January over loads of signings because
they don't know what they're doing. They've got a method and all that. I'll tell you, funny enough, that what Everton's best signing probably for him has been Iwobi. Everybody was moaning overpriced, but he's probably been pound for pound over the course of the time that he's been there. He's been probably their only one success.
Yeah,
I might be wrong,
because they just go and buy players. They don't. What I see with Arteta at the moment, he's buying players that's going to suit what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Whereas those teams just go and buy names. Oh, he's this player. So you can just imagine like an agent ringing them. Yeah, we got this player.
Yeah, we'll have him.
Yeah, we'll have him.
Yeah.
Or is he playing midfield? Yeah, we need a midfielder. We have him. But does he suit what you're trying to do? Does he suit your pattern of play?
Yeah.
I never forget someone at Arsenal saying to me about when I was saying, "But why didn't we get Basuma?" And they're saying to me, "Robbie, Basuma, great defensive midfielder, great at breaking up play, not so good at progressing the ball." And you see that now at Tottenham. And I'm seeing it at Tottenham, and I'm like...
90 million they've spent on two reserve players that don't play in their team.
Richarlison hasn't scored a goal.
60 million for him, 30 million for Basuma.
Yeah.
So, what's that, 60?
And Jet Spence.
90 million, 90 million.
Jet Spence, another reserve player.
So over £100 million off a player, not improved their 11.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between us and Arsenal, us and them.
Yeah.
We brought in players this team that have improved our 11, not just our squad, have improved our starting 11.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
So we've got to trust them. We've got to trust them on it, and we will keep you up to date with the transfers here on AFTV. Don't forget to check out my transfer daily that I do every day, and we'll be doing a deadline day show on the 31st if any late transfers come in. But we have signed Cavore, we've signed Trossard. Could anybody else come in? Let's wait and see. Cedric's on his way out. He's going to be joining Fulham.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Good luck to him. So good luck to Cedric. He's going to be going out on loan till the end of the season.
Been a good servant, done it.
Yes,
Not Arsenal, in my opinion, but give it 100%.
Give it 100% every time. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Don't forget to do your AFTV PICK10s. The link is in the description. Get involved in that. Subscribe here to AFTV to get all your content and also to check out all of our content around that Man City game. Big game this Friday night. We're going to be doing a watch-along to it with a full-time show where you guys on the Fan Zone can get involved by downloading the app on AFTV Plus, and you can come through live on the show and give your opinions after the game. The only place that does it is right here on AFTV, so make sure you check it out. Lee, I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you Friday.
Yeah, make sure you're there early, mate.
Yeah, we'll be.
Make sure you're there early. Pick you up.
Pick me up, yeah. But, the AFTV car's coming out.
The AFTV car is on its way up to Manchester, along with 9,000 other fans. Looking forward to that game. Man City versus Arsenal in the FA Cup. And then we're back in action the following week against Everton. Getting the road on again for that Premier League. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll see you next week. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.